So one of the big and costly mistakes I see entrepreneurs and business owners make is not being willing to change directions or pivot away from something that's not working.
I often say that service to humanity is man's greatest work in life. We get back in direct proportion to what we give to the universe. But you got to give if you want to get. That's law.
You know, I've been building companies now for almost 30 years, and I can tell you, not every idea that we come up with, not every solution that we create, even if we look at the market and go, this is spot on, it's gonna solve their problem, they're gonna wake up at night so happy and excited, they just can't wait to find me, right? And still fall on its face, just like that. I remember hearing an interview or seeing an interview with Elon Musk from Tesla, SpaceX, et cetera. And he said, so many great businesses, including Tesla, were founded on failed assumptions. So and he specifically went on to say that Tesla was founded on two failed assumptions. One was they could build on an existing car frame, so they tried to build on the Lotus frame. Turned out that they'd have been better off starting from the ground up and building their own instead of trying to retrofit. So that was one failed assumption. And another was a failed assumption around the cost of batteries. And his point is that what all of us as entrepreneurs and business owners face is that you go out there with an assumption of what you think is going to work, and you have to fight like it's going to work, right? You have to go and give it time to get some traction. But then you have to be willing to admit when it's not working. And like, there are all these cutesy little memes that you see on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and stuff. It talks about never quit, never give up and all that. And I've put some of them out myself. But the fact is, like in the trenches, the fact is there are times when quitting or changing directions makes sense. And not changing directions or not quitting is a guaranteed formula for long-term failure. And so you have to be willing to pivot. Sometimes it can be really soft, simple, easy pivots like, okay, we were going after this group of people and we were going after this age group of men and women, and we realized as we got into it that only women were the ones that were making the ultimate decisions about this product or service. So we need to put all of our marketing and ad dollars towards the female audience. So that can be a soft pivot, but there can be times when you go out and you create a product and a service and you think that it's right and you do all the things right, all the marketing, and you create the messaging and everything, and you're targeting and you're going after them, and they're just not responding. And so there are some things, I guess we could talk about that at some point, that you can do to mitigate against that risk. In other words, don't build the Empire State Building before you figure out if anybody wants to rent an office in it, you know. So like, don't go all in. Try to find ways to figure out if somebody will give you $1, you know, like buy that product or make a commitment to it or something like that. So there's some things that you can do. I think we should deep dive into that at some point. But for sure, be willing whenever the writing is on the wall and you've tried all of the logical pieces and it's just not working, be willing to look at, am I missing something? Is there a different direction? Is there a slight shift? I've heard people talk about the analogy of, you know, like if you're going to the moon and you're just like off by 1 or 2 degrees or whatever, you just completely miss it by the time you get there. And so in business, it can be like that. You have to constantly be willing to adjust and make changes. And those who aren't, they're like, the road is littered with them up and down the road of entrepreneurship, is that they weren't willing to shift, to adapt. And a lot of times it's our ego. Like, we're afraid of being embarrassed because we went and told everybody that this was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And now we got to admit to ourselves and admit to others that, okay, my assumption was wrong. I got to make some changes. I got to adjust. Being willing to do that is one of the traits of great entrepreneurs, and not being willing to make those shifts is a surefire way to fail. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you like this video, then we'd love to give you some more. All we want you to do is take a few minutes here and just make some comments down below. Number one, like the video, that'd help us out. Let us know that you liked it. But really, more than that, put a comment down below and tell us, what else would you like to hear? What are your challenges and frustrations in business? What is it that you are up against as an entrepreneur or business builder? Do that, and we're going to keep creating great content for you, and we'll see you in another video very soon.